We're still up on the tripod. Good morning, happy through hikers. Well, today is the morning of day 5. It's around 5:15, 5:20 a.m. I was awoken this morning at about 4:15 to the sounds of thunder and the bolts of lightning just to the north of me. So, like a crazy man, I rushed and I packed up my gear in the farmer's field where I had camped for the night. Perfect little location, quiet, peaceful. Nobody knew I was there. Awesome. So, by earlier than 5 a.m, I was on the trail. But what an absolutely gorgeous sunrise to the right of me this morning. Hey, good morning again. Jasper here. And again, we continue our 500-kilometer hike of the Ganaraska trail. Bugs are out this morning. And by the way, the thunderstorm actually missed me. We really had much more than a sprinkling of rain, but somewhere got it hard. But take a little look at the sky as we cross road 44 heading north. Today's destination is Moores Falls, and in the distance the color in the sky. I hope you're seeing that, because right here it's beautiful. My hiking partner Andre ahead of me. But I just wanted to show you the sunrise this morning. So yeah, last night was a night where I slept without the fly sheet on, just with the bathtub and mesh of my tent. It was a gorgeous night. As I lay there, I was watching the treetops kind of bounce around in the wind. And then darkness fell, the stars took over, and I drifted off into a beautiful sleep. One thing I am liking, I should mention, of talking about gear for a moment, my Woods Thermalite sleeping pad. I've mentioned it before, but this is actually the first through hike that I've used that sleeping pad on. I have used it for 2-day and 1-night camp out hikes, but this is the first through hike that I'm using that for. Normally I would have my Thermarest Z-Sol, and I'm really liking this Woods sleeping pad. It's very comfortable, remarkably comfortable than my Thermarest Sol Z-Pad. So I thought I'd mention that. Okay, we'll talk to you in a bit. I'm going to eat an orange as I walk down the trail. Somerville Tract. Now this is kind of an interesting location, something to look for, but here we are right on, as the marker says, the Ganaraska Trail. So we've left now about 20 minutes ago. We left the Victoria Rail Trail. We jumped on an old logging road, which was super interesting, through kind of a tall Jurassic type forest. And now we're continuing north. Moores Falls, here we come. As we're pushing further north and we're pushing more towards the wilderness section, I'd like to be able to say, hey, there's no bugs, but that is definitely not the case. You are inundated with mosquitoes, black flies, deer flies, and they're relentless. A significant amount of bug spray, it only slows them down temporarily, and at best it slows them down. But having said that, take a look at this beautiful swampland. Absolutely stunning along this old logging road on this trail. I was going to stop back there, make myself a little bit of coffee and a little bit of breakfast. It's probably around 7 a.m. now, but there's just no way, even with massive doses of bug spray, 30% DEET, as they say, it doesn't really stop the bugs at all. Oh well, the adventure of the Ganaraska Trail continues. Day 5. Nowhere else I'd rather be right now. Let's get to it. Somerville Tract Forest cross-country ski system. Highway. I haven't checked the map. I haven't checked the app, so I can't actually tell you what highway we're on right now. Cars coming down this highway. But you know what I will tell you? Since we left the logging road that came off the Victoria Rail Trail, the trail changed totally. It went into what I call the Jurassic Park kind of bushwhacking kind of trail. So the first 4 days was a given, but they're not giving us anything anymore. Every step we take now, we work for. Or at least I do, but I'm an old man. I tell you what, we're going to continue down this trail. We'll talk to you soon. As we progress further north and push towards Morse Falls, the bugs, the black flies, mosquitoes and deer flies just keep growing in number, mile after mile, step after step. And although the deer flies are quite easy to kill, their number just doesn't allow it. Literally millions and millions and millions. Head covering a fantastic amount of 30% DEET bug spray. And as I've said before, it barely slows them down. The trail right now is, again, back onto an old logging road from the last couple of kilometers of bushwhacking through the pine forests. Interesting. Super interesting trail. Swampland to my left. Swampland to my left. Bugs all over the screen of the camera. But take a little look at the lily pond. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So as we push further north on the Ganaraska Trail, it becomes increasingly much more difficult, much more challenging underfoot, and extremely difficult to navigate. Blazes, there's one ahead of me right there, but they become few and far between. And one thing I did notice also, they're orientated not necessarily in the direction of travel. I'm not sure why they've done that, but it's something to think about. Just because you see a blaze doesn't mean that's the way you're supposed to go. Okay. I don't know. I do not know here. Okay, I see a marker right there. Okay. Bushwhacking, very much so. Through here. Again, very, very challenging trail. Something to be prepared for. Something to keep in mind. It is not going to be easy as you start to approach and enter into the wilderness section.
Well, Andre here this time, but I'd like to introduce you to the Ganaraska Trail. And here's our friend Jasper, embedded up to his good parts.
It's just solid, like solid cement, and I'm terrified of losing my... Here we go. Oh, there we go, I'm out. But I was terrified of losing my footwear. So yeah, be super careful through here. Super swampy, like quicksand cement. And believe me, I could have been in trouble right then if I'd have lost my shoe in there down to the knee, almost to the hip, in solid cement type mud that it was extremely difficult to get out of. If it wasn't for my partner here, Andre, yanking me out, I would have been in a whole world of trouble. I would probably be here until my next birthday. Whew. I have no idea whose idea it was to hike the Ganaraska Trail, but all I'm saying is, another fine mess you got me into, Andre. Okay.
How do we start?
Let's get going.
Press this?
Well, it's really nice to sit with, actually, you know what I thought was a whole wheat roll, but it turns out it's only toasted kind of. It's white on the inside. I didn't realize that until I just looked at it. But anyhow, I thought I'd got whole wheat rolls. I didn't. I got white bread. It's nice to sit with some white bread, a little bit of electrolyte juice, maybe a Kit Kat bar, and a little bit of trail mix. Little heads up, the bugs, once you kind of leave the Victoria Rail Trail and you start to kind of really push towards the wilderness section and north up to Moores Falls, the trail does change drastically. In earlier days, I'd mentioned how, hey, this first 3 or 4 days, it's just given to you. But after that, day 5, it all changes. The bugs are crazy. The navigation is horrendously difficult. Even with the app, it's a challenge. With paper maps, I'm not sure how we would do it. Just a little hats off to a friend of mine, Tyler, out there. Tyler, you're the man, because you came through here no problem with paper maps last year, and you're the man, Tyler, because I probably couldn't do it with paper maps, and I'm using the app. Just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Extremely difficult navigation. Okay, going to enjoy my lunch. Andre's into his bag of Cheetos.
Tyler, you are the man.
There you go. I'm going to enjoy my lunch. Talk to you later. Jasper here. Have a great day. We'll talk to you in a bit. Guys, after a long, grueling, hot kind of day with some ups and downs and turmoil, and you know what, one of those days where you really are working for every step on that trail, we have made it to Moores Falls. Now there's a lake here, which is Mall Lake. It's absolutely stunning, and I'm going to make every effort to get in there because I need a bath, I need to do some laundry. And there's a green space at the other side of the bridge where I think is going to be perfect for a night of camping, and there's a porta potty there and picnic tables. And right now, if I could just swing this around, we are at a little kind of, I guess you'd call it, country restaurant maybe, of course because of COVID. Outside seating only, but we did find this beautiful little spot right here that we popped up this umbrella. We're beneath a tree and we're in beautiful shade. There's a gentle breeze here, and you know what, it's just perfect right now. It feels really good just to sit down and rest these 63-year-old aching bones today. I'm struggling to keep up with my young trail companion here, but you know what, we'll do okay. Okay, we're gonna order some food. I think I might go with a cheeseburger, maybe even with bacon on it. That's unusual for me, but I might do that. We'll talk to you in a bit. Bye-bye. Lutterworth Park, here in beautiful Moores Falls. Now you know what, there's a beautiful green space here. See Andre's tent's already set up. I haven't got mine set up yet, but you know, even though the sign said no camping, the locals tell me hikers camp here all the time. It's not a problem. Beautiful river that we actually got to go swimming in today. We did laundry in this river today. Absolutely great. Laundry, a bath, swimming, perfect. You know what? The end of day 5. I'm not sure. Oh, actually, you know what? I do know. At the end of day 5, we're 143 kilometers into our through hike of the Ganaraska Trail. So yeah, everything's moving along just fine. Today, as I mentioned earlier, was super challenging. I'm hoping the wilderness, all of the wilderness section is not that hard, because that was a tough day. But you know, won't know until tomorrow. Apart from that, everything else is going fine. We did wake up early this morning to the sound of thunder and lightning, but all we got was a few showers. That was it. So we did okay. Hey, Jasper here, trail name Jasper. I'm going to talk to you guys in the morning. Good night. Good morning, happy through hikers. Well, today is the beginning of day 6 on our through hike of the Ganaraska Trail. We are just leaving Moores Falls. If yesterday is any indication of the challenges that await us today, it's going to be a very hard day. The navigation, the terrain, the bugs, the heat, humidity, all accumulated yesterday into one heck of a challenging day. Hey, Jasper here. Trail name Jasper. You know what? It's absolutely a beautiful morning. but the bugs are out fairly strong already. But just take a little look across the lake. There's some construction going on, but look at the moon in the distance. Absolutely beautiful. That's Moore Lake, or Moore Lake. Beautiful location. Okay, we will talk to you in a bit. Well guys, welcome to Queen Elizabeth II Wetlands, Black Lake, Ontario Parks. We're officially entering into the wilderness zone. Okay, let us see what today is going to bring, what adventures we can find, what images we can capture. So the trail this morning, challenging yet much easier than yesterday's trail, insofar as at least there's a trail to follow. One of the biggest issues we had yesterday was you could not distinguish a trail. The trail was just traveled so infrequently. Today we have better blazing so far heading north out of Moores Falls than we had it all yesterday, and the trail significantly easier to follow. Still quite challenging, but you know what? If over the next 3 days the trail through this Queensland wilderness section was like this, then it wouldn't be so bad. It would actually be quite an enjoyable and interesting hiking trail. Hey, just a little update on this morning's progress. We're still only maybe a couple of kilometers into the day, but it's already starting to get stinky hot, humid, covered in sweat. Okay. Jurassic Parkette. Well, the trail definitely becoming much more challenging. Most definitely. Whew. Yeah, total concentration, working for and watching every step. Yeah. Now what we are finding on the trail, this is probably the second bear scat that I've found so far on this trail between today and yesterday. Lots and lots of moose droppings, but so far just 2 bear scat. That doesn't look overly fresh, but it doesn't look overly old either. So the possibilities of seeing moose or bear on this trail, very, very possible. But you know what? Sometimes it's quite difficult to see them, but we'll see. Well, the second highest point in the Queensland, the second wilderness park, is at the top, the summit, the peak of Scrabble Mountain. And here we find a memorial to the memory of Aldi. 1893-1966. And on the other side, there's another one. And I'm sorry if this camera is shaking around, but these deer flies are just biting the hell out of me right now. And this one's to the memory of W.H. Butch Pollard Jr., who kept the grandpa's tradition alive. So there you go. And looking over the treetops from the summit of Scrabble Mountain. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lake this morning. Exactly the kind of location you'd find moose, but I just don't see any today. Wow. Well, the trail continues. It's a beautiful day. Bugs are out in force. Deer fly, mosquito, pretty much everything, I guess, that bites and flies and buzzes. And pretty much everything else. Bug net, pretty much mandatory, and a serious amount of bug spray, pretty much mandatory. But you know what? Apart from that, the trail is quite navigationable to this point. To this point. That's all I'll say about that. Hey, take one more look at that lake. It's absolutely beautiful. But slowly but surely we're approaching the most northern part on the Ganaraska Trail. Again, millions and millions of bugs, but the terrain, the landscape, absolutely stunning. Just beautiful. Amazing place. Again, head nets, bug spray, mandatory. Long sleeves, most definitely. But apart from all that, it's actually an amazing trail. And the navigation today from Moores Falls north to the, as I say, the most northern part of this trail, the navigation has been relatively simple. It's been well blazed, and there has been a visible trail to follow, which is good. Okay. Victoria Lake. Oh, Lake Victoria. Not sure, but an absolutely amazing place just to cool off. Take a dip. You have to keep putting your head under the water because of the black flies and deer flies and bugs. Take a look around this lake. Absolutely amazing. Just take a look at that. Absolutely stunning. Oh, there's Andre on the shore. He's making a career out of killing bugs. This is the trapper's cabin on the north side of Victoria Lake. Amazing. Satellite TV in there. Wow. Wow. Outhouse probably, or shed, some amazing place. The old trapper's cabin.
You notice the old snowmobile?
Yeah. Crossing the beaver dam. River to my left, beaver pond to my right. Whew. Beaver dam. The only way across to get to the trees at the other side. Very difficult to find. You are not going to keep your feet dry at all, and I am going to have to put you away while I do this.
It's only 6 inches wide here.
The view of Wolf Lake. The shoreline, beautiful cool water where I was swimming today. The camp. Now this is one of the, I guess, designated campsites here in the wilderness section. So, you know what? There's the emblem. So this is one of the nights where, you know, I don't have to worry about kind of stealth camping or kind of hiding out in the corner of wherever. And I'm also thinking tonight, it's going to be, looks like it's going to be a beautiful clear night. It's hot, so I think I'm going without a fly sheet. Just my mesh. I think that's going to be just fine. So there's my camp for the night. Over here, this is the rickety old picnic table that we used, Andre and I, for dinner. All my gear strewn everywhere, of course. But again, take a look across Wolf Lake because it's absolutely beautiful.